There was a blog post that I wrote, and I really don't know when I wrote it, some months back. I'm not sure when. But the blog post was entitled, I'll Open My Legs to That. When you look on my stats for my website, that's a frequently searched term. And I think it's a frequently searched term for probably like internet porn or something like that. And the title, it can be easily misconstrued. What I'm really paying attention to is, what is feminine energy? So I started to really kind of research it, ask the questions. A lot of it was through my own internal search and a lot of meditation, writing in my journal, exploring the ideas, and dreams. I have some great dreams. And then I started to notice it in certain men. So meaning men who I really deem to be great men. They speak very differently about what they feel their role is as a man. Men that I respect, men that I really find like, oh, that's a great man. Their role is to serve women, honor, and protect. But that means masculine energy is supposed to be in service to feminine energy. That's how they work together. And if you think about it, it makes sense. So then I started to really contemplate it. What would feminine energy need to do? Because masculine energy is all about going, direct. And we know that. You think about that. It's all about direction. And feminine energy is all about what? Receiving. If feminine energy is about receiving, how do we receive? How do we really do that? And I love magic, and I love metaphysics, and I love that idea of the reality that our physical world is a reflection of the non-physical world. So the reason why you have things as rituals and symbols, it's because you are finding ways to translate the non-physical world into the physical world. So I think, and I don't like to have a lot of tools. I don't like to have a lot of things. I love crystals, but I'm not really into doing a lot of physical stuff. I like to work with what I have, so my body and just what's around me. So I thought about, okay, well, how do women receive? Well, a very basic way we receive is through our yonis. I like the word yoni. And we keep that, and we receive, and then we also nurture within our womb. So even if you're having a creative project, and then I'm an artist, and so every time I would work on a very large creative project, it felt like I was pregnant. And you couldn't tell me I wasn't pregnant. And I went through a real process. I would wake up in the morning like, I'd feel like something was growing within me, and I'd work on this project, and then eventually, of course, I'd give birth to it. And I think a lot of women will say that, and a lot of people who are creative will say that. But in order to receive that initial idea, that spark, and that is masculine energy, you have to be open to receive it. If you look at our physical bodies, how do you receive masculine energy? So how does a woman receive a man in a creative process? And a creative process for us physically is through reproduction. So if you were to receive a man, the man would come into your yoni, his lingam, if you want to say that, bam, 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 woo, 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 and then a baby can be created through that process. The one thing that you're always taught as a woman from a young child is that you close your legs. You always keep your legs closed. You always cross your legs. But yet men, their legs are often open and wide. It actually doesn't even make sense. I started to realize that women, we are being shut down. Our femininity, our ability to create is being shut down. And the only times that you actually will open your legs are really for sex and to physically reproduce. We don't see the power of our bodies being able to receive. So when we have these ideas, when we want to create something, we don't really know how to make that happen. But I want to tell you who does know how to make it happen. And if you look at corporate America, and if you look at anyone who's on the top, it's always going to be that top person. But some people feel like it's a man's world, or that it's ruled by men, and it's patriarchal. And I actually will disagree. Feminine energy is what essentially on the top, but men are the ones who are embodying feminine energy for the most part. They're the ones who are being served. And that's why oftentimes when women start to go into those higher roles and those top positions, and they still try to keep a masculine energy, they have a harder time. Because the thing that they have not been taught, if you ask me, is to receive. When I wrote that blog post, I'll open my legs to that. What I was calling women to realize that your power is really being able to receive. And you can actually, I mean, and if you try it, I want you to try it. I want women to try this. Get in your room, open up your legs, and receive. Bring that energy in. And if you look at my hands, my legs are open and I'm bringing that energy in. Whatever it is that I want to bring forth into this life, because we are creators. So whatever you want to bring forth into this life, you can bring that energy in through your intention and through this physical gesture of saying, I'm ready to bring this in and nurture this idea and then bring it forth to life. There isn't a single person on this earth that can't say their mother didn't create them. And if you do say it, you are silly. I don't mean to insult you, but think about it. You can attribute it to God and all, that's fine. But understand that the person who really created you was your mother in her womb. And if we have the ability to create like that, why aren't we using it for other things? Because in many ways, whether you realize it or not, our education system and the ways that we have been taught through, maybe it's religion or not religion or your culture, it's been to shut down the knowledge of that power. And then only a few are the ones who are really using it. And that few are the ones who are typically in higher positions, and they need people to do what? Serve them, and that's masculine energy. So oftentimes you'll find women who really move forward, they're very masculine. Because what are they always doing? Serving, 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 serving. That's a masculine trait. We nurture, that is true. We are nurturers and we're givers, that is true. But to do it to the greatest of our ability, we need to be served. We need to be protected. We need to be provided for. That's how masculine and feminine energy interact with each other. When you have that imbalance, you have exhausted women. You have masculine energy that doesn't know what they want to do with themselves. They wander around lost and confused. Why? Because they don't have that magnet, that negative polarity drawing them in. And this doesn't matter, if you're gay, straight, or whatever. If you feel more feminine, then you need to be receiving. And if you feel more masculine, then you need to be serving. You're going to find a greater balance in your life if you allow yourself to do that. Magic.